Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to create a project using a Scrappy Tails Crafts 6x6 stamp set. This is called Cardinal Blessings. You can see the birdhouse I was showing earlier. Then there's a lot of beautiful cardinals along with a mailbox, a couple accent pieces like envelopes and presents. We're going to create a card just using one of the images in this set. Scrappy Tails Crafts, I had created a project for Sabrina. She's the owner of Scrappy Tails, and she invited me to play with some of her products, so that's what we're going to do today. I'll list the stamp set down below if you guys are interested, but she is a small business owner and she just developed her first line of stamps, and so I was super excited to get to play with them today. We're going to stamp this cardinal. He's on a tree branch with some holly and some berry leaves. Actually, it's with some holly berries and holly leaves. I don't think there's a thing as such as holly berry leaves, but you know what I mean. I stamped that with my VersaFine ink, and then we're going to go over this with some clear embossing powder. I thought we would use some watercolor brush markers today. The ones that I'm using are from Alta New, and it was their winter pack. There was 10 in a pack, and they're perfect colors for cardinals. You get the rouge here, and then you also get a red that was super bright. You get a real pretty green, and then you get a softer green. I'm going to use the yellow for my little beak, and then there's a brown. So perfect colors and very, very easy to use. I'm not even going to water them down. I'm just going to use them full strength so I have a nice vivid cardinal. Start off by using my rouge. Rouge is like a pale pink. I'm going to add that, and then here's where I'm speeding it up, guys. I'm going to go ahead and darken the rest of my my cardinal with my ruby red. Add those to the berries too. For my leaves, we're going to bring in a lighter green. The green ink that is in this pack is called Mountain Mist. We'll add that, and then I'm going to bring in my emerald green for a little bit of shading. There's a brown in here called Espresso. I'm going to color in my tree branch with the espresso, and basically that's it. Our coloring is done. It looks like nice thing is the stamp did all the work. All you have to do is add color. How about that? Okay, I'm going to use my scissors and fussy cut this bird out. That's partially the reason why I chose this bird, because I thought he would be easy to cut out. Just use my scissors, leave a little bit of a white border because there's some fine details areas in here. Once he's done, we are going to do some die cutting with some circle dies. I actually have 3 sets of circle dies. One's a double stitched circle die set. Another one is just a regular stitch circle, and then I have like an infinity circle set that doesn't have any stitch detail, but there's a lot in there. I'm going to use 2 of my double stitched and create a circle frame, and when I do the double stitched circles, it has stitch detail on the outside edge and on the inside edge. And then I'm going to take a slightly larger circle die and cut out a piece of vellum. So this is going to be a mat to go behind my circle frame here. We'll tape these down, run these through the die cut machine so they're good to go. Put these back. I get a lot of people asking questions about my storage. And at the description area down below in the video, I have a link. Click on that link, it'll take you to my blog, and it tells you all about the products that I use for my storage. But because I know I'm going to get asked, I'm going to go ahead and take a strip of black cardstock. I treated my cardstock with my anti-static powder bag, and we're going to take the Christmas Blessings sentiment in the stamp set, and we're going to ink it up with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to go over it with my white embossing powder. I love the way the black and the white stands out. It just makes your sentiment pop a little bit. But there's some other beautiful sentiments in the stamp set. One says joy to the world, and then the other one says Merry Christmas from our home to yours. So this stamp set's fully packed. I went ahead and melted this. We're going to go ahead and I'm trying to make sure that my embossing powder my cardstock is not heated up anymore, because there's been a few times where I've went to wipe the powder off of my sentiment and I've actually smeared it because I didn't let it cool. So I'm shaking it to let it cool. I'm bringing in a wood grain embossing folder. We're going to emboss our vellum piece. Now when I embossed this with my embossing folder, the vellum, even though it's a heavyweight vellum, I did just add paper shims instead of my embossing plate, because I was afraid that maybe it would tear my vellum. So you might want to double check before you emboss vellum your machine and how it embosses vellum, because you don't want it to tear your vellum piece. Okay, we're going to trim down a 1/2 inch strip of this diagonal striped pattern paper, and you can see I already adhered a 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch panel made with a red and white grid kind of color, grid kind of pattern. I already adhered that to my card base, and then I went ahead and adhered that stripe to the very bottom of my sentiment. Next, I'm going to take my white frame here, circle frame. We're going to go ahead and adhere this over the top of our vellum, just kind of centering it. Once that's adhered, I just love the way wood grain looks with cardinals. I don't know, it's just a winter scene, but I thought this would be a nice fun pattern. I'm going to use my scissors and trim off just about a 1/4 inch off the left side here. And then once we have this trimmed off, I'm going to flip over both my sentiment and then my cardinal, and we're going to add some foam adhesive. My sentiment strip is going to go straight across my card base, but I want it just to go across the pattern paper. So I'm just lining it up, and then we're going to do a little trimming from the left and the right side, and then we can add our foam adhesive behind it. Just using foam squares, I'm going to put one on the main portion of the cardinal, and then I'm going to cut down some very thin strips over the branches. I'm not going to pop up the vellum. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that directly to my card base, which is a standard A2 size card base, guys. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a dimensional adhesive behind my sentiment and my cardinal. So they're popped up here. And I just think that looks so pretty. Okay, for finishing touches, all I'm going to do is bring in some red stickles. I thought we'd add a little bit of sparkle to the berries on that branch there. So we're just going to add 3 little dots. And then that finishes off my card today, guys, using the Scrappy Tails Crafts Cardinal Blessings Stamp Set. Again, this is a brand new company. This is her first release. I encourage you guys to give her some love and check it out. But have a fabulous day. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.